Okay, so I'm Marco,
My name is Cassandra.
And my name is Anna.
and this is our team. So we chose to do our presentation through Google Slides. We're using Zoom. That's how we kind of decided to work and do our presentation through Zoom since we are been using it. Um, how we started collaborating is that we kind of got in contact with each other and set a date to start working on this. We met twice. The first time we met was to kind of brainstorm of what we needed to do, assign assignments, and then by the second time that we met, we pretty much had the entire presentation done. We did final touch ups and we started recording.
So, the first reflection we're going to go over is Intro to Co-Teaching, which is the 6 different strategies of different types of teachings. The first one is One Teach, One Assist, which benefits both the educator and the students. Students receive more individual help, giving them a better opportunity to understand the material thoroughly. Also, educators will not lose on what they have covered with others, and those students needing extra help will get it. The second one is parallel teaching. 2 teachers will split the class in half, making it into smaller groups. Um, they teach the same material, but just in smaller groups. And this is beneficial to the students because it gives the students more of an opportunity to ask questions to the educator and get more of that individual help that they would need. Next slide. Thank you. The third one is One Teach, One Observe. This strategy benefits educators because the observing educator can give advice or notes to the main educator on how they are teaching. Station teaching is beneficial for students because it gives them a better opportunity to have individualized time with the educators, and the educators can modify the material to the students' learning capabilities. Team teaching is the next one. This benefits the educator because it allows them to use their strengths, and whatever one educator lacks, the other one can pick up for. The student also benefits from this because if they don't understand one way of doing the work, then the other educator can provide a different way that the kids might understand more. And the last one is alternative teaching. This is beneficial to the students because they will get more individual attention on their academic needs. If a student is falling behind, then the educator re-explains the lesson, or if a student is excelling in their work, then the educator will start the next lesson with them. Next slide, please. These are examples of the different teaching strategies. First one teach, one assist. One teacher will stand in front of the class teaching, while another one is walking around the room assisting the students that raise their hand, have questions, need more help. The next one teach, one observe, is there's one teacher up front and there's another teacher, usually in the back of the room, who's observing the main teacher to give notes. The next one, station teaching, which is where you have different stations and the kids will travel from one station to the other. Usually the co-teachers will be in 2 different stations to help them in the to help them with whatever they need help with. The next one is an example of parallel teaching, which is the teachers just divide the class in half and then they'll go to two separate corners of the room or 2 separate sides, and they'll teach the same material but just in smaller groups. The next one is team teaching, which is both of the educators are at the front of the class, both teaching the class. So that's team teaching. And then the last one, alternative teaching. Uh, One teacher will be up front teaching the kids the lesson, and then one will be grabbing students who need more help or who are excelling at their work and want to move on to the next lesson, and they will bring them to a station in the back and they will help them with whatever their needs are. Next.
Okay, and then another main idea is state assessments. There's a yearly assessment called CAASP. In 2018 through 19, the percentage of the students who met or excelled the ELA standards was 51.10%. The mathematics only 39.73% met and exceeded the standards. In ELA, there is around 10% more students than the mathematics. Reviewing all the forms of math and different techniques in just a few days for the whole year is not enough practice for the students. Assessments, one of the big problems we all agree in is being nervous before testing. Also, knowing the material but not getting enough sleep, or testing all day, or going through hundreds of questions and a timed amount is really stressful and won't make time to do the assessment.
So another thing that we learned in the class or classroom was classroom management that I believe is really important when teaching. Um, Not having this done could be very difficult in teaching. So it's a concept that you should try to get down right at the start of the year. So attention and quiet procedures would be one. For example, teachers teach students to pause in their activities and conversations when you use a quiet signal, a sound, or raising a hand, a visual, etc. And the example that we learned was the give me five. Next slide. So the model teach the process and practice it. So for example, model this on the first day of school by chatting with volunteers at the front of the classroom and having the class say, give me five. So by giving five, students already would know that they would have to stop talking and look at the teacher and quiet down. So having them practice this will have them know what they have to do. Another one would be the class will practice using the process. So you keep practicing so they already know what they have to do by giving five, give me five, or even counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 would be another way. And instructing them to turn and talk to someone near them about their summer vacations, and you will interrupt after the 1 minute and say, give me five. So these are other practices. And this concept of classroom management will help the teacher in the long run, because the students will know what to expect when you say, give me five, or if you decide to do the countdown, or if you decide to use like a prompt, like a stop sign signal, or even like a noise with a bell, that could help. And oh, next slide. And so classroom management, without having a good classroom management strategy, it's very hard to teach a class. I learned from experience and in this class that getting this down the first week of school, the school year is extremely important. So your students know what to expect when entering your class. You sort of just basically set the tone of how the school year will run. The first few weeks are probably the most important weeks of the school because you set the tone, the rules of the class, and classroom management. And for me, it's very important having this down. You'll have a smoother transition in the whole year. And thank you.
Thank you.